You have to think about ways which enables those small firms to grow. So how do you do that? Well, there's lots of ways to think about doing that. One critical way is competition, and that is the nature of competition, is to punish the kind of firms which are being unproductive or are being inefficient by shrinking them or exiting them from the market, and reward the more efficient, the more dynamic, entrepreneurial, innovative firms very quickly with higher market shares. And that, that is what the more developed countries do to a much greater extent. We have a lot of good evidence that that's the case from policy experiments which have opened up countries to trade or have toughened up competition policies. So the competition is not just about the government doing less, it's also about the governments doing more in terms of making sure firms aren't abusing their monopoly power, for example. So there's an active role for governments, both in guarding competition, but also in removing government from parts of the economy it doesn't need to be in. So competition is probably the number one thing, I would say. The second thing is to kind of think about the kind of regulations that you have. So in many countries, what happens is that once firms become above a certain size, this is very true in developing countries like India, there's a whole plethora of regulations which kind of fall on their heads. So, labour market regulation will be one of those. So, it becomes very difficult once you're a formal firm, when you grow beyond a certain size, to fire workers who are unproductive. And, the reason that we like that, we don't want workers to feel afraid, but if you make it too difficult to remove underperforming employees, then it means that what firms will do is they won't want to grow big, because they know when they grow big they'll be hit by all these regulations, not just obviously on labour market regulations and firing, but also other things they may have to do in terms of filling out forms with the government and so on. So they'll choose to stay small. And many of the great firms that you want to grow big will actually quite rationally choose to stay small.